Hola, mi gente. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for our February PC Power Hour. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about a new immigration journey tool and some of the resources that come along with that, and really tackling some pressing updates regarding the climate and everything that's going on right now, so that we can better prepare you in support of our scholars on your campus, and again, continue our partnership in doing this work. We do have a pretty packed agenda, and so we're going to jump right into it. Um, Directly following the agenda overview, we're going to be joined by Hayne, who's going to be talking a little bit about, again, some of the support networks that we have for our partner colleges, but more deeply regarding the TheDream.Us 10-year impact report. Once she is done with that, we're going to be joined by one of our long partners, Mission Asset Fund, or MAF, who are going to be showcasing their new MIHA app, which is an amazing tool. So we hopefully this is something that you can utilize in sharing with your scholars. And they're also going to be talking about some of the immigration loans that they offer to help folks pay for some of the USCIS application fees. Because MOF does have another meeting that they have to get to, we do have a hard stop for them at 2:30. So we've upfronted some of the Q&A portion of the sessions that we usually have, so that folks will be able to ask their questions regarding the app or the immigrations loans directly to Joanna, who is joining us from MOF today. We will then talk about some pressing announcements. We will hit on EBR deadlines. I know some of you have maybe been seeing some of the things going on with the IRS and ICE and paying taxes. So Nicole Wesley will be sharing some information and some guidelines on what you can share with scholars regarding those specific fields. And then we'll then shift into some overall scholarship programming announcements and additional resources for you. So that being said, let's jump right into passing this off to Hayne.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see everybody on this call. Just wanted to share with the group and our partner college community and send the strong message that I think we all share together, that Dreamers need us now more than ever. And so I think it's important for us, TheDream.Us as an organization, to continue showing our strong signs of support for this community and for all of you all who are doing this work on the ground, supporting our scholars. We want to reassure and reaffirm everybody on this call that TheDream.Us as an organization is stronger than ever. We always say that we make the commitment to our students when we award them their scholarships, that we're committed to their education. We are deeply, deeply committed to seeing as many of our scholars complete their degree as possible, and nothing has changed on that front. So we want to make sure that we send a strong message, that we continue to go deep with our programming. This is a lot of what you'll continue to hear from us on these Power Hour sessions, but we also want to be realistic and keep up to date, stay informed of everything that's happening on the Hill, the latest executive orders, the actions, and the constant changes that we're hearing in the news day to day. And so our primary focus right now is communicating with our scholars, with our alumni, and you, our partners, focusing on three key things. One is it's imperative that we continue to send a strong message of unwavering support and hope to our students. We know college is their entire world at this moment. They fought so hard for everything that they're striving to accomplish in this moment in time, and we can't let them lose that hope, that tenacity, and that resilience, and we want them to know that we're here for them. The second message that we're focusing on is education, awareness, and information. It's key for our students to understand the realities of what's happening, the real implications of what this might mean for the safety of themselves and their families, but also not to fall into fear tactics and this climate of fear that I know drives anxiety, piques anxiety among our scholars and their families. And then three, we're focusing on realistic actions they can be taking or not taking in this moment in time in their best interests, with a strong emphasis on mental health supports. So for this group, as you know, we've been starting to see the questions come in from you all as well. Please know that we are reacting in a timely manner to changes. Most recently, as you know, in-state tuition was repealed in Florida. We've been in communication with our students, our applicants, and our colleges. We know with the elimination of TPS for Venezuelans, for Haitians, this will also have certain implications for our scholars. And then the ongoing conversations around higher ed, DEI, and all of that. We are staying informed, sending out information as needed, and facilitating conversations as needed as well. So in today's session, you'll see and hear from different presenters, both external and internal, that reflect our growing supports that we're creating and providing our scholars, alumni, and you, our partner colleges, in response to a lot of what is happening in the world today, but also as we go deeper in our current programming that we offer for college and career success. So in this vein, just a friendly reminder from our January session that we do have legal counsel available for you, our partner colleges. Josh Levy here, you'll see the contact information, has offered his support. If you, your general counsel on campus, does have concerns about what's happening on your campus, Josh is available for conversation. If you refer that you're affiliated with TheDream.Us, he'd be happy to counsel you and your team on any legal questions you may have. In the meantime, we are doing one final promotional push to remind dreamers that they should continue to pursue their college dreams. FYI, we are pushing out press releases targeting Illinois and Arizona. If you are a partner college in those states and have concerns about press and any drawing of attention to our scholarship in those states, please feel free to reach out to me. My email here is on this slide. And if you have any other concerns around our partnership, the scholarship program, my email is always open and my email address is right here for you to reach out to me. Next slide. All right, speaking of the importance of retaining hope, we want our scholars to know that this is but a moment in time. We know life moves on, and also this doesn't take away from the incredible, incredible accomplishments this community has already accomplished. So we have been very excited. We've been working on this 10-year anniversary report for quite some time. Many of you have been with us for the past 10 years of this organization. You've seen us share our data, celebrate the fact that we have now awarded over 11,000 scholarships to Dreamers nationwide in the past 10 years. Last summer, we reached a huge milestone of over 4,000 college graduates. We are so excited to release this report later this week. We'll be sharing it with you, our partner institutions. The report is a true comprehensive retrospective of this organization, the many partnerships we have, including our partner college model, the incredible work that you all have put into this program to support the success of Dreamers over the past decade. It'll be chock full of data, stories, narratives that will continue to amplify to really hone in on what we continue to believe is true and fundamental to our mission and values, which is immigrants are good for this country. They are deserving of happy and fulfilling lives, and we are in it for the long run. And so our vision for the future under our new leadership with our president and CEO, Gabby Pacheco, all of this is contained in this 10-year report, which we'll be releasing later this week. So with that, we will transition into the content for this month's Power Hour. I'll hand it off to Joanna Cortez Hernandez. She is the Chief Innovations Officer at Mission Asset Fund, and she'll share our new immigration supports available to our scholars and alumni.
All right. Hello, everyone. As Hayne has already mentioned, my name is Joanna Cortez Hernandez. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at MAF, and I'm excited to be joining you all today to share a couple of really exciting resources that we hope you become familiar with so that you can connect Dream.Us scholars to. So the first resource that I will be spotlighting is the My Immigration Journey app, also known as MIHA. So this is a powerful new tool that MAF has developed over the last handful of months to truly help individuals understand the immigration options that are out there to help them navigate their situation and in general, just be more in control of their immigration journey. So through this web-based tool, individuals who create an account will be able to not only explore a variety of different educational resources like what is a U visa and am I eligible for one, or what type of employment-based visas are out there, and am I eligible for those? But they'll also be able to create action plans for themselves around some of their immigration goals. So say, for example, there's somebody who is currently applying for a family-based petition. They can go to the app and create a action plan around that pathway. So there is a suite of pre-made milestones, as well as the ability for folks to create their own milestones around the pathways that they are exploring as part of their immigration journey. So there's educational resources on a variety of different immigration related topics, but there's also the ability for users to be able to take those resources and create action plans around where they're currently at in their journey. In addition to that, another valuable feature of the tool is that through the app, folks will be able to receive real-time policy updates on what is happening in the world. As we know, there is a lot that is changing all around us, in particular when it comes to the US immigration landscape. And our hope is that through this tool, we will help folks feel a little bit more grounded in the changes that are occurring and how those changes influence where they're at in their journeys. So I invite you all to visit our MIHA landing page, which you can access at mafito.info/MIHA. I'll also drop a link in the chat if it's easier for folks to access there. But if you visit that landing page, you'll be able to learn a lot more about the different features of this new tool. And you'll also be able to get started with creating your own account to explore what's on there, as well as sharing it with the scholars that you work with. Before I move on to the next slide, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this is a completely free tool. So there is no cost associated with folks creating an account or using it. I also do want to mention that at any point in time, if folks ever want to delete any of the information that is included or stored within the app, they are more than welcome to delete and deactivate their accounts. That is something that I feel like we've been asked a lot about lately. So I just wanted to go ahead and also throw it out there. But please join me in exploring the tool and getting started with connecting your scholars to it as well, so that they can begin exploring their options and or creating action plans around where they're at in their journeys. Next slide, please. Okay. Another valuable resource that I want to make sure to spotlight today is this incredible partnership that we have with TheDream.Us, which is to provide immigration fee assistance to scholars and alumni in the network. So MAF has a immigration loans program that we launched a handful of years back, which provides folks with a zero interest credit building loan for certain USCIS application fees. We have most recently partnered with TheDream.Us to create a revolving loan fund to make these loans accessible to scholars and alumni nationwide. So these loans, what types of USCIS filing fees can they be used for? It can be used for those that appear on screen, so DACA renewals, an application for US citizenship or naturalization, green card, TPS, family petitions, and advance parole for DACA. As I mentioned, this is a zero interest loan. It is also a credit building loan. So what does that mean? That means every month as the individual is repaying back the loan to MAF, we are reporting that payment history to the 3 major credit bureaus, so that folks are able to establish or build credit as they repay back the loan. In addition to that, as part of the program enrollment process, we are also connecting folks to relevant financial education through our own learning management platform, so that they are able to just learn a little bit more about, for example, the importance of building a credit score and history, and how they can take proactive steps to make sure that they are repaying back the loan successfully. So again, I invite you all to visit our landing page, mafito.info/immigration, to learn more about our immigration loans program, the special partnership that we have with TheDream.Us. I do also want to call out, and this is really important, that in order for scholars to access the funds that we have through this incredible new partnership with the Dream.Us, they will have to enter their Dream.Us application ID. And there is a specific question on the loan application, on the first page of the loan application, that will ask them to do that. So that is something to just keep an eye out for. Underneath the Mafito link, you'll also see on the deck, it says program overview link here. Very recently, the math team had the opportunity to sit down with the Dream.Us team to do a more deep dive training of sorts into our immigration loans program. So I also invite you to check out that link, as there will be much more content around what it looks like to apply and what it means to repay back the loan. And I'll pause there and see if I'll open it up to the group to see if there's any questions on either MIHA or this new immigration fee assistance partnership with the Dream.Us.
Thank you so much for that overview, Joanna. So again, we do have a limited time with Joanna, but we do have a few more minutes. So if you have a question regarding the MIHA app or the loan program at this time, if you could just use the emoji and just raise your hand. There we go. Betsy, you're our first question. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
Thanks so much for the information. I guess my question is, if I'm a student and I enter my credentials and I establish an account, do I run any risk of people requesting access to the portal where my information is disclosed and therefore identified? I would appreciate some insight into that. Thank you again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no worries. Really great question, Betsy. So a little bit about MAF, if you all are not familiar with us, we are an organization that is based in San Francisco with a national reach. We are a financial institution. We are known for our credit building program. So to that respect, we have the utmost standards when it comes to data privacy and security across all our loan programs. And that is also true for the products that we built that may not necessarily be loans, like MIHA. So there are extra security standards that we've taken with the development of MIHA that includes encrypting all the data that folks enter on the app, but also making sure that things like two-factor authentication are part of the login process. In addition to that, I will just share again that at any point in time, if folks want to delete anything on the account, they are free to do so, and that data will be permanently deleted and will not be found anywhere. I hope, just sharing some of those notes does provide that added security that if you are using the app, you can modify it, you can delete it, you can change the data to your liking, and know that it is going to be secure.
Thank you so much, Betsy, for that question. It's really important. Anyone else who may have a question regarding any of these programs or applications, please again raise your hand, and you can unmute yourself to ask a question. While we are waiting for folks to volunteer questions, I did see a question in the chat that was answered, but just in case folks didn't see it, Joanna, someone asked if these programs were only available to the Dream.Us scholars.
Good question. So the MIHA tool is not exclusively available to the Dream.Us scholars. It is a tool that anybody and everyone can use. In fact, we are doing a lot of promotion around that tool currently to date. So you will see us, if you follow us on social media, you will see a lot of social media posts about it. We are actually also hosting an online community event about it tomorrow for folks that are interested in just learning a little bit more about the tool and some of the resources that it has to offer. So it is not exclusive to the Dream.Us folks, although y'all are encouraged to share it with scholars and to even share it with other community members, quite frankly, that you think could benefit from the tool. What is exclusive to the Dream.Us scholars are the immigration fee assistance loans. So the immigration loans that we have created in partnership with the Dream.Us. So the Dream.Us has set up a very specific fund for these loans, and these loans are exclusively going to Dream.Us scholars or alumni.
Thank you so much. We had another question in the chat, And so I think I'm trying to sort of decipher what the question is, but it seems like they're asking if the students will be able to build their credit using their ITINs.
Yeah, great question. Yes, so part of the program eligibility requirements for immigration loans does include having an ITIN or a social security number. So folks who have an ITIN will be asked to provide that information as part of the loan application.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions for Joanna regarding any of these great resources? No? All right. Well, thank you so much, Joanna, so much. We are deeply grateful of the partnership with MOF and with working with you on these amazing resources and programming, and look forward to really creating a pipeline where we can provide our scholars to access these resources. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
Hope you have a great next meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be in touch.
Yes, thank you so much, all. And if there are ever any questions that folks have or feedback even on, say, the MIHA tool or even the immigration fee assistance, I encourage y'all to share that with Chris and the TheDream.Us team. I know our team and their team are just incredibly close in communication right now in the rollout of both of these resources. So we'd be open to hearing any feedback or comments that folks have. I think that's just going to make our work stronger towards the communities that we're doing it in service for. So I appreciate y'all's time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your days.
Gracias.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So moving along with the agenda, so we are going to go into some pressing announcements right now. To set that off first, the most pressing thing programmatic wise is the spring EVR deadlines, which is coming up this Monday, folks. March 3rd is the deadline. We are less than a week away. And I am sorry to put you guys on blast right now, but we have 45 EVRs still outstanding. That is over 50% of our current EVRs are still outstanding with less than a week away. So if you are on this list, we just, again, want to just touch base with you. We know there's a lot going on all of our fronts. We understand that, this is causing some delays, but we really want to make sure that we are also keeping the trains moving and that we are supporting scholars, that they don't feel the anxiety of seeing that bill is still not paid. They still haven't received their stipend in some cases that could be really helpful for them in their situations right now. So we really want to make sure that we can get this out to you all in order to sort of clear these balances. Please know that the colleges listed in red here did submit their EVRs, but there was an error that needs to be fixed and then re-uploaded. There also seems to have been an error with the system, so you may have not even been notified that there was an error in your EVR, so you may not even know that you needed to fix that. So we wanted to highlight that to you, and I believe either like today or by the end of this week, you will be getting that notice so that you know exactly what you need to fix in that EVR and resubmit. I just want to also just mention again that we have really updated the back end of the system for the EVRs to really have a quick turnaround once the EVR is submitted, but none of that goes into place until the EVR is actually inputted into the system. If everyone waits till like the 3rd, it will cause an overload of the system. We will experience delays in getting you those payments out. We're talking about a couple thousands of students of payments here. So if you can get it in, within the next couple of days and not wait till that last minute, it would be really, really beneficial in getting you the funds back and also getting those stipends out to students. If you have any questions or concerns regarding your EVR payments, please feel free to email Elena and Camila. This is like their top priority right now, so they will answer any questions that you have in a timely manner. The next piece is I'm going to introduce Nicole Wesley, who you all know very well, who's going to talk a little bit about filing taxes as an undocumented student, and some of the changes that we have been seeing with how IRS is being sort of utilized in this current climate.
Thanks, Chris. So as we all know, we are currently in tax season, and taxes can feel overwhelming for our scholars who may have questions about their tax obligations, as well as what Chris just mentioned about potential risks given the recent news regarding tax data and immigration. The next several minutes, we're going to talk about this topic. And before we start, I do want to provide an important disclaimer. All the information and suggestions shared around this topic is for educational purposes only and should not be considered legal, business, or tax advice. Every tax situation is unique, and we strongly encourage our scholars to consult a qualified tax professional to discuss their specific circumstances. So let's take a moment to discuss what we currently know about the 2025 tax filing season. As you may have heard, there's been some news lately around taxpayer data and immigration enforcement. Recent reports reveal that DOJ is requesting access to IRS taxpayer data, while DHS is asking IRS agents to assist in immigration enforcement. These actions of gaining access to confidential taxpayer data is illegal and goes against IRS confidentiality laws. Unfortunately, confidential taxpayer data is being accessed in ways we haven't seen before, and the full extent behind these actions remain unknown. Let's be clear, what we're seeing right now are fear tactics targeting the immigrant community. The current administration lacks the resources and bandwidth to enforce their aggressive immigration policies, and they're turning to other agencies like the IRS to ask for help with this mission. Do know that the reality is, if someone has been filing and paying taxes in previous years, the IRS already has their information, which includes their name, their tax identification number, their mailing address. That hasn't changed. What is changing is how certain federal agencies want to use this private and confidential data. Despite the anxiety these headlines create, we want our scholars to remember that filing taxes remain important for undocumented immigrants, and here's why. First of all, it shows compliance with federal tax laws, as filing taxes proves they're meeting their tax obligations. It also can strengthen immigration cases, as tax records can serve as proof of good moral character in cases that involve the adjustment process. It also documents their work history and presence in the US, which can be beneficial for future legal pathways to residency or citizenship. Lastly, I want to mention that the IRS disclosure laws prohibit the IRS from sharing taxpayer information with other government agencies. These laws have long been in place to protect taxpayer data and privacy, regardless of their immigration status. Unfortunately, we know with these recent events that these laws have been violated, and multiple lawsuits are being filed to stop agencies from accessing taxpayer data unlawfully. Next slide. Now let's talk about what steps our scholars can do as it relates to tax filing. Here are some recommendations. First, know that whether your scholars are first-time tax filers or returning tax filers, know that there's still time. They don't have to file right now. The tax filing deadline is April 15th, with an automatic extension deadline of October 15th. So knowing that there's some time on our side, there's no need to rush into filing taxes, knowing that newer information on this topic may be released in the next several weeks or so, We recommend that our scholars stay informed on this topic and follow updates to make a more informed decision closer to the deadline. To stay informed, we encourage scholars to follow trusted organizations like us at TheDream.Us and Immigrants Rising for updates and resources. For those that don't know, Immigrants Rising recently shared similar guidance around this topic on their social media channels. I'll share more on that post in a minute. Additionally, we do have our second and final Tax Matters session on March 20th. Please share this with your scholars and alumni and encourage them to attend if they have any tax matters related questions. And lastly, know that knowledge is power. Everyone has constitutional rights, regardless of their status. So ensure your scholars know their rights and they practice them in case they or their family need to defend themselves. If scholars do decide to file a tax return, here's just a few critical steps they should follow. First of all, they should always use their own valid tax identification number, whether it's a social, an ITIN, or an EIN. They should never use an invalid or borrowed TIN. Using a TIN that is not theirs can lead to serious financial, legal, and immigration consequences and can negatively impact their relief options when adjusting their immigration status. If they need to apply for or renew their ITIN, they should be using a CAA or certifying acceptance agent so that they do not have to mail in their important identification documents. If they do not use a CAA, they will have to mail in their important documents, and we discourage that. By using a CAA, this will help protect their important identification documents so they don't get lost and ensure they have possession of these documents at all times. Next slide. I also want to quickly highlight a few tax resources. So first off is our ITIN webpage. Though these resources were created prior to this year, do know that most information still holds true and is relevant. If you or your scholars want to learn more about ITINs, we also have a newer Tax Matters FAQ document. Visit our ITIN webpage. I do also want to briefly highlight within our Tax Matters FAQ, there's a lot of commonly asked questions like, is the Dream.Us scholarship and stipend taxable? Is compensation for my internship or fellowship taxable? How do I find a tax preparer? And more. So I encourage you yourself to also visit that resource as well as share that with your scholars. Next slide. Another helpful resource, as I briefly mentioned, is our second and final Tax Matters for Immigrants webinar, which will take place Thursday, March 20th. It will consist of a maximum about 30 minutes of presentation followed by Q&A from attendees. So please share this out with your scholars and alumni. This webinar is only open to the Dream.Us scholars, alumni, and partner colleges, and it will not be recorded. So we encourage you to share this out with scholars in advance so they can take advantage of this opportunity. Next slide. And a final resource is the Immigrants Rising social media post describing the recent news of DHS asking for IRS agents to help with immigration enforcement. Their post, I know they have posted it on Instagram and LinkedIn. It includes an 8-page carousel outlining what's happening, how this negatively impacts everyone beyond the undocumented community, and what undocumented immigrants should do during this time. Per this posting, Immigrants Rising also suggests that undocumented immigrants wait right now to file taxes until they hear further guidance and updates. Next slide. And to conclude, here are a summary of 5 key takeaways that we hope you share with your scholars. The first one, as I mentioned, there's time on our side. We encourage them to wait. so that they can stay informed during the next several weeks about any current events or information regarding this topic. Understand the current reality. If they've filed taxes in the past, the IRS already has their information. However, we don't exactly know what might be done with this data and information. Reminding our scholars the importance of filing taxes and how filing taxes complies with federal tax law and can strengthen future immigration cases. And if your scholars do choose to file taxes, remind them that they should be only using their tax identification number. Do not use an invalid one or someone else's. And if they're applying for an I-10, they should be using a CAA agent, and they should not be mailing in their important identification documents. And I will pass it back to Chris.
Thank you so much for that, Nicole. I know that that was top of mind for a lot of our scholars who are in question about how to file taxes and how this information is now being sort of weaponized against them. So thank you for those tools and those resources. We will dive more into some more programmatic announcements. So just wanted to give everyone heads up. We will be having our second immigration Q&A session this Thursday. This session is more geared towards the scholars and alumni themselves, but we always welcome PCs who wish to join the sessions. For this upcoming session, we will be joined again by Mav, who will be giving more information to our scholars and alumni regarding the MIHA app and the immigration loans that they are offering. We will continue to be joined by Americans for Immigrant Justice, and we have a new immigration attorney that we are working with there, Alexandra Marquez Alfonso, who is going to be leading the Q&A portion. So she'll be able to answer our scholars and alumni's immigration questions live through the chat during the session. As we've implemented this year, we will be closing out the session with Cheryl Aguilar, who is a social worker and will be leading a sort of wellness space at the end of these sessions. As you can imagine, these are usually very heavy sessions because the immigration questions are very personal to our students. And so we want to make sure that we are also providing them an outlet to digest the information that is being shared. That is the way we will continue to close out these sessions. Just want to give a note, these sessions are specifically for immigration questions. Any scholarship type questions can be emailed to askus@TheDream.Us. That is where students should continue to ask their scholarship questions. But again, for more immigrational legal questions, these are the sessions that they should definitely be attending to learn more. So that will be coming up February 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are monthly sessions, so the next session will be on March 27th. Wanted to remind everyone the National Scholarship Round is actually going to be closing out this Friday, February 28th. As we mentioned in our last PC Power Hour in January, like this is the time to do that final push. You have the applicant status in the applicant report in the ISTS portal. You can go in and see where they are in their application process. And we strongly recommend that you reach out to those who either have unsubmitted or incomplete applications. This is the time where I, as a scholar advisor at Hunter College, would usually call students and just let them know, hey, I noticed that your application is still not submitted. Is there anything I can help you with? You know, I'm here, I work at Hunter, I work with the program, and just sort of give them that sort of sense of security that they are talking with someone who is related to the program. And I think, you know, as to Haynes' note at the beginning of this session, that we are still here. We are still committed to providing you this funding opportunity. Please go ahead and complete it. Like, we are still here. We will still be giving out our sort of scheduled number of scholarships this year. And so that encouragement can go a long way into folks really completing this application process. So strongly encourage you to please make that final push. We are in that time of season. This was sort of my sort of big sort of rewarding experience when I was at Hunter, was when the students would come and pick up their graduation stalls from me. It was sort of the culmination of their journey, of our work. So we are now opening the request form for graduation stalls. You can click on the link and go straight to the form. We are giving folks about a month to complete the form, so the deadline is March 26th. Please be reminded to go ahead and click the form. Make sure that your contact information and address is correct. We will be mailing out the stalls, pins, and graduation letters to the partner colleges for distribution. So make sure that that information is correct. If there is no contact information or address, it's probably because you didn't get stalls within the last year or the year before. So please, if there is no information, please add that information to who those stalls should be mailed out to on your campus. Once you've updated or verified the information, please remember on that column A to just indicate whether you've updated the information, and updated is either updated or verified. Um, or even if you don't need stalls this year, maybe you already have some left over. If you don't need them, please make sure to list that in column A so that it lets me know that at least you've reviewed the information and that everything is accurate, right? So please remember to do that. And then finally, make sure that you are submitting your order, not just for your spring graduates, but if you have a summer session graduation, and for anything for fall, that you are submitting your estimated request for the entire year. Because of our bandwidth and capacity, we are only able to do the stall round once a year. So we won't be able to do a sort of another order request in those following semesters this year. So everything needs to go in this year. So please, again, feel free to click on the link as soon as possible and start updating your information. We have a new sort of slash program that we are implementing. These are called the TheDream.Us new PC staff orientations, right? So as we continue to work deeper with our partner colleges and build these networks and connections, we do know that unfortunately there is a lot of turnover and folks leave, folks change positions or take on new roles. And sometimes it is difficult for those new staff members on campus to sort of become fully aware with the Dream.Us, what their role is as part of the program. And so I'm going to be leading monthly sessions every second Monday of the month at 2 p.m. If you have any staff on your campus that is new to the Dream.Us team on your campus and would benefit from getting an overview from me in terms of what resources there are, how they should be tackling their work in their current role, working with our population, please let them know to sign up for these reoccurring events. They will be coming up. The first one will be coming up on March 10th. As long as they sign up, they will get the direct invite from me. And again, we can go through the entirety of what the program is and the resources that are available to them. I know it's sometimes hard to just jump into a PC Power Hour and sort of just make sense of everything. So this is an attempt for us to sort of bridge a little bit of that gap for some of our new staff on campuses. And then our final announcement is there is a town hall happening this evening. It is being held by American Federation of Teachers, and they're going to be giving some updates on navigating changes in the U.S. immigration policy and the impact on campuses and communities. They have a bunch of partners, including President's Alliance and other organizations that are on the panel for the discussion. They will be talking about recent updates to immigration policies, how policies could affect faculty and staffs and recruitment and retention strategies on your campus, along with tons of other things. The event is this evening. So I'm hoping that one of my colleagues can actually put the registration link and the flyer on the chat. So I would strongly recommend that folks, if you can attend this session, that you do so. Even if you can't attend the session, at least just register, because most likely they will record the session. And if you're on that registration link, they can at least send you the recording if you can't, because I know that 7 p.m. might be a little late for some of us, right? But as long as you're registered, at least you'll be able to get access to the recording afterwards and be able to access all of the information and guidance that is shared. And then finally, just a quick preview on our PC Power Hour for next month. We are really trying to streamline our processes and make sure that we are answering all of your questions as directly and as quick as possible. So we are going to be sharing some of those updates of how we are restructuring the communications between TheDream.Us and our partner colleges, and where you can go to for your scholarship questions so that you're getting the most accurate response in the fastest time. So we are continuing to improve our processes and making sure that we are supporting you when you need those questions answered and when you need those networks. I will stop there and we'll open up the floor for any questions regarding any of the stuff that we just covered, or really we have a few minutes. So I know it's been I know people are going through some things. So I really just want to open up the floor if you have a question or just want to share something about the work that you're doing right now. I would love to open this space up to really hear from our partner colleges and our staff. I mean, that's like perfect, right? Like, I think you just summed it up perfectly for us to close out this session. We are at the hour, so I want to be respectful of folks' time. You will get the recording and the PowerPoint slides for this session in tomorrow's PC Weekly. So please be on the lookout for that. And again, there is power in informing yourselves. There is power in community. There is power in us leaning on each other. So please know that we are going to continue to be here at the forefront with you, supporting our scholars, and we are here for whatever you need. Please feel free to reach out. Love you and be good, folks.